When we look at the daily Mass readings, we often find stories or pieces of stories we never heard before. For example, I am sure most of us didn't know that Samson's mother was visited by an angel. And the scene has traces of an angel's visit to Mary. And the directives of how Samson is to be raised match the directives given to Zechariah and how he and Elizabeth were to raise their son John. These two stories make it very clear that lead characters are always notified when God has a big plan. The mother of Samson, whose name is not given to us, responds appropriately to the angel, and all is well. Samson will lead God's people as the last judge of Israel and the one who dies while killing the leaders of the Philistines, oppressors of Israel. We know that Luke's gospel records that Mary of Nazareth is also visited by an angel, and she does ask a question of Gabriel, but agrees to God's plan, replying with humility, and once again, all is well. Her son will be the Son of God. And then there is Zechariah. Gabriel tells him the good news that his wife Elizabeth will give birth to a child who will be filled with the Spirit of God. And Zechariah cocks an attitude. All is not well. Gabriel reprimands God's word that was mocked by Zechariah, and he returns to those faithful awaiting him outside the sanctuary, and he cannot hide his punishment. Zechariah cannot speak. As I prayed and reflected on this scene, I know that Zechariah was definitely a good and righteous man, but he couldn't take being told a miracle was going to happen or that God was going to be blessing him. How does this Gabriel think who does he think he is? After all, Zechariah, is one of the priestly leaders. Sometimes we who faithfully pray and serve our God encounter another person of faith, but for whatever reason, we may find ourselves thinking, who do they think they are? I'm perfectly fine doing faith my way. Yet, as we look at the ways of God, we see a history of many good people who have suffered at the hands of believers. Many wars and persecutions have sprung up from matters of faith and religion. Perhaps we can learn another lesson from Zechariah, and I offer this prayer. God of all ages and all people, as we prepare to celebrate the gift of your Son, please bless us with the wisdom to recognize you in others. Lead us to understand when we need to be silent and when we need to proclaim Emmanuel, God with us.